Childhood is supposed to be soft, nurturing, filled with the kind of love that builds a foundation for a whole lifetime. But for millions, childhood becomes something very different. A battlefield they never chose. The wounds are silent, but they follow them long into adulthood. This is the dark side of childhood trauma, and this is how it shapes the adult brain. Trauma isn't always loud. Sometimes it's the plate thrown across the room, the door slammed in fear, the words that cut deeper than wounds, or the silence that feels like abandonment. Childhood trauma includes emotional abuse, physical violence, neglect, bullying, witnessing domestic conflict, and even the pressure of growing up in unpredictable or unsafe environments. These experiences don't just remain as memories. They shape the developing brain. A child's brain is like soft clay. When trauma becomes part of a child's life, the brain switches into survival mode. Whatever touches it, molds it. The stress hormone cortisol rises. The nervous system becomes alert, hyper-aware, scanning constantly for danger. Imagine being a child, and your body behaves as if every moment is an emergency. That is the lasting impact of trauma. Meet Anya. She was only 8 when she first learned what fear felt like. Every night, her parents fought. Loud, violent, unpredictable. She learned to sleep with her shoes on, just in case she had to run. Years later, Anya is 28. She's successful, intelligent. But inside, her brain has never stopped scanning for danger. If someone raises their voice, her heart races. If someone walks away during an argument, she panics. She isn't dramatic. She isn't too sensitive. She is a child still surviving inside an adult body. Scientists have discovered 3 major changes. 1. The amygdala, the alarm system. It becomes overactive, meaning even harmless situations feel threatening. This leads to anxiety, overthinking, hypervigilance. 2. The hippocampus, memory and learning. It can shrink, meaning trauma impacts memory, emotional regulation, and the ability to trust. 3. The prefrontal cortex, decision-making. It weakens, meaning adults who face trauma struggle with self-control, self-worth, and long-term planning. Trauma doesn't just affect emotions. It rewires the architecture of the brain. Then there's Rohit. Growing up, he wasn't beaten, he wasn't starved, but every mistake he made was met with shame. You're useless. You can't do anything right. You're a disappointment. Those words became his internal voices. Today, at 34, Rohit apologizes even when he hasn't done anything wrong. He can't take compliments. He feels undeserving of happiness. Not because he is weak, but because the brain learns to believe the voices it hears. The adults with childhood trauma often repeat painful patterns. Fear of abandonment, overreacting to conflict, choosing partners that feel familiar, even if they're unhealthy, pleasing people to avoid being rejected, difficulty trusting others, emotional numbness. This isn't bad behavior. This is the brain reenacting what it learned during childhood. Childhood trauma doesn't always look like tears. Sometimes it looks like perfectionism, or overworking, or constantly keeping busy to avoid thoughts, or being unable to say no, or feeling empty even when life looks fine. And sometimes it looks like anger, when deep down there is hurt that was never spoken. Take Maya. She grew up in a home where emotions weren't allowed. No crying, no talking back, no questioning elders. She learned to swallow every feeling. As an adult, she struggles to express herself in relationships. She feels guilty for having needs. She bottles everything until she explodes. Trauma is not always what happens to you. Sometimes it's what never happened. The love that wasn't given. The protection that wasn't offered. But here is the part most people don't know. The brain is not permanent. Trauma rewires it, but healing rewires it back. The adult brain has neuroplasticity, the ability to grow, rebuild, and restore itself. Healing is not quick, but it is absolutely possible. How healing actually happens. 1. Therapy. Trauma-informed therapy, EMDR, CBT, they help the brain process old wounds safely. 2. Safe relationships. A healthy, loving bond can literally calm an overactive amygdala. 3. Mindfulness and grounding. These calm the nervous system, teaching it that the danger is over. 4. Rewriting self-talk. Replacing the critical inner voice with compassion. 5. Setting boundaries. Learning to say no teaches the brain that your needs matter. 6. Talking about it. Sharing your story removes shame, and shame cannot survive being spoken. If you grew up with trauma, you are not broken. You are a survivor of something you never deserved. Your reactions make sense. Your fears make sense. Your pain makes sense. But so does your healing. You are allowed to rewrite your story. You are allowed to build a life that feels safe. You are allowed to become the adult the child in you always needed. And remember, trauma may shape you, but it does not have to define you.